these are not good times. They're very. It's terribly sad what happened. It's heartbreakingly sad. I mean, we've been through Rishiji and Irfan, but this has, it cuts your heart and you feel terrible. It slices your heart. You feel, why?
Hi, Boman sir. Welcome to Bollywood Live.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you so much for having me, Imran.
So how are you? Let me start with this question. How are you doing, sir? How are you holding up? What's been happening around?
How do I look?
You look perfect as usual.
Yeah. Yeah. It should not be any different. It is very different, and it's very easy to speak when you're, you got a hard roof over your head, and if you get a couple of square meals a day, it's not that bad. But you worry about the people who don't have a hard roof over their head, who don't get their meals. But somehow I think that people have stepped to the plate and are helping out people. But for those who are in our kind of situation, I don't think we have any call for grumbling, any call for being ungrateful. This is a good time for introspection. It's a good time to learn a few things. It's a good time. We gotta take the good with the bad. I mean, the rest of the year will be good. We look forward to good always, right? When you look forward to good, good happens.
Right.
So having said that, I'm not really in a bad space. I'm not. I'll be very honest. I worry about people who can't reach out to people, who feel shy to reach out to people for help. So it's up to us to sometimes reach out to them.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
I understand, sir, because the situation was going on right now outside, the world is going through a very hard time, and we have started learning, I guess, to be more human now. We're trying to be more human and be considerate to each other. We're starting to love each other for that, and I hope it will be a better world when we go out, when everything is settled down.
I really hope so too, Imran. People have short memories. Suddenly they'll feel, we've been humbled in many ways. We've been humbled from kings to the man on the street. All have been all on the same playing field at the moment.
Right.
And so we've been humbled, but I hope we don't forget it, because everybody is just now saying, I got a little closer to my family and spend more time with my mother and my father and my brothers, and I got together. And don't forget about it. One thing opens up, and you get into a space where you say, I'm king again.
I hope that it won't happen like that. But I have a lot of good topics that I need to discuss with you. First, let me start off with the first topic that we're talking about is the Spiral Bound, that you came up with an idea to collaborate with the screenwriters. So I want to know what was your idea behind it and what was the objective that you wanted to collaborate with such screenwriters?
It started some years ago when I started writing a screenplay for myself. And while I was writing a screenplay for myself, I realized that there is the art is available, the creativity is there, that the science is not. And so I took up screenwriting as a subject, as a pet subject, to learn myself. And I've been working on it, trying my best to understand what are the layers of screenwriting and what is the structure of screenwriting. And after about a reasonable amount of time last year, when I floated our company Irani Movie Tone, instead of throwing a big party, I invited 85 screenwriters from youngsters who are still in college to the best screenwriters in the business. I invited all of them at the Marriott, and we had an Oscar-winning writer. I flew him down. The writer of Birdman, and we had a workshop instead of a party. I thought the party will be, tamjam hoega, red carpet hoga, we'll have, party and a launching of a company and all that. I said, this is far more productive, far more. And then when the lockdown happened, there were 4 or 5 youngsters who would call me for advice for their scripts. So I started a Zoom meeting with them. Let's talk about your issues. One by one, they started opening up, and they said, can I bring a friend? I said, okay. Can I bring a friend? Okay. And now we have about 85 regulars who come in every day, do homework. I'm talking about people from all ages, from youngsters to professionals, people who are still starting out. Some are directors, some are art directors. They also feel the value of understanding screenwriting. And some are people who are in their 50s who are attending the screenwriting workshops, which I conduct every single day. Every single day.
All right, so because that's how the community grows, I guess. That's how you exchange knowledge and you get more knowledge from each other. You try to learn certain things from each other. That's how it's supposed to be, right? Collaborative work.
I think that the film industry also is going through a bit of a change.
Correct.
Where we are looking for stories, and not only are we looking for stories, we're looking for good screenplays. So stories are great. It's wonderful to have a story. You have a story, you narrate it, it sounds very interesting. But now you've got to put it on a page and say, this is how it's going to be shot. So a difference between a subject and a screenplay is very, very complicated, and that's where we kind of falter, because you might have a great story, but you may not be able to, through the available science to you, not be able to convert it into a screenplay.
Correct.
I don't know if I'm making sense, but that's where I feel some wonderful films have not, and we struggle telling stories, but we struggle writing screenplays more than that. So it's an amazing thing that's going on right now. Spiral Bound is something I'm extremely proud of. And I tell you, there's so much of energy in that classroom. You should visit sometime.
Correct, sir. Talking about the change that industry is going through right now. So due to the lockdown, the OTT start booming right now. So I want to know your opinion on it. What do you think OTT as a platform, and what do you think about how brave it is? And will cinema coexist in the aftermath of the pandemic? What is your thought on that, sir?
Look,
sorry, I think 3 questions in that.
Yeah, no problem. I think they will. Change is always welcome. I think in the time of theatre, first theatre in the good old days, in the good old days, were just narrators coming and telling stories. There used to be storytellers. There used to be narrators, and then narrators suddenly brought on a couple of actors, and they started acting out things. And there were playwrights, and there was theatre, and then theatre kind of took a backseat for a while. When cinema must have made the entry, and different kinds of forms of cinema, one after the other, different genres of cinema, depending on the mood of the people, depending on the culture that's happening around them, whether there's a war going on or whether there is, political unrest or, But it finally boiled down to the first change that I saw in cinema was when the video cassette boom came into the world. And so when that happened, suddenly cinema took a hit. And they said, now what do we do? And then suddenly the quality of cinema kind of dipped because you needed to get people into the theater. So a little bit of crassness came into the world. And then suddenly again, people started going back to the movies. And then I think Lagan was one of those pictures that I would say turned it all around in the early 2000s. And then suddenly movies started doing well again. Now we have the whole endeavor to make these two worlds coexist, the cinema and the OTT platform. Well, in America, they seem to have settled down to just showing us blockbusters in the form of superhero films.
Right.
I think even that will go for a toss. How many times are you going to see a guy in a underwear on his outside of his tights, jumping around and smashing people and boom, 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 boom. After a while, it becomes boring. So you will have to find another way to tell stories to get people inside. There are some wonderful directors who are shit, I'm losing my memory.
I can suggest one, sir. Christopher Nolan. His movie only can be seen on the IMAX 3D.
Talking about Chris Nolan. I mean, the Batman movies, or even Inception, or for that matter, Dunkirk, and those movies. You can't watch it on an OTT platform. So, and it's not a superhero movie. Well, sorry to say, Batman is a superhero movie, but I don't see it as a typical superhero movie for some reason. But I'm really, really keen to understand where we are right now. I want people to understand where we are right now. And we are in a place where people are consuming a lot of stories. And for that, I'm understanding, this is my understanding, I'm understanding that we need writers in plenty and good writers in plenty, because now on the OTT, you've got to not just make one movie, you've got to make episode after episode. And they are, because we are watching on the world platforms, and since we are on an international platform, we are seeing a certain quality of what would have been on television, which is not a soap. So there's a big difference between having a soap and having a web series.
Correct.
The quality is very different. The way it is shot, the production value, and the storytelling and the narrative is very different. So we are looking at writers, and so the industry should be geared for that.
Right.
Good writers. That's the way I see it. There will be this consumption for a while, and then maybe people want to start going again on a Friday evening to take their family, and they still are, by the way, on a Friday evening to eat popcorn and watch a nice movie. Things will keep changing. It doesn't mean you say, now this is the new, no, nothing, everything changes. Nothing is permanent. Did you ever realize that you'll be sitting in your house? If I told you in this January, you'll be sitting in your house for 3 to 4 months, maybe more.
Yeah, nobody could have
Nobody believe anything. We will always be subject to change.
Correct.
No question about it. So the OTT platform is great. We'll go back to the cinema. We'll see both. We'll see them with one spare seat in between.
Right.
But it doesn't mean we're going to stop watching movies.
All right, that makes sense, sir. That makes a lot of sense right now. Talking about coexisting as well. I had another topic that I wanted to ask you. Like, a lot of youngsters, since what the industry is going through right now, I get a lot of messages from the youngsters asking me, Imran, what's the situation right now in the industry? With the nepotism debate, with people harming themselves and everything. So you've been in the industry for so long. I'm sure people might want to hear what you have to say about it, because have you ever faced any such incident, like bullying incident, or being a prey to nepotism,
Bullying?
losing it? Yeah, in Bollywood, what people are talking about right now, and how did you deal with it, or how people can deal with it right now?
Look, I can speak for myself. I can't speak for others.
Right.
I can speak for myself. And I don't know whether it was because I came into this business at a different age. I was 44, don't forget. So I'm speaking only for myself. I can't speak for everybody else, because these experiences I have not had. Also, the actors that I was working with, wonderful people who I looked up to in all my life. They welcomed me with open arms, including you name the actor, including Nasiruddin Shah or Paresh Rawal or Anupam Kher or Om Puri, you name it. These gentlemen, Amrish Ji also, Amrish Ji, and there was a great welcome, and so when I speak for myself, I've never experienced it. I can't speak for others. I'm not in a position to, because I've not seen it happening. We can debate about many things, but eventually you have to fight. That's it. While when I was, I don't know, there might be this kind of thing happening in every business. It might be happening even in your business, in your work, in your line of work. So I look at it very differently. When I came in, maybe I was older. I was faced with another kind of people. I don't know. I'm not aware of it.
All right. Makes sense. It makes sense. I also wanted to discuss this as well. What industry is going through right now is a very hard time. People in the industry are also texting and asking, like, what is going on around, and they're losing hope. They're trying to harm themselves. Sir, where do we come in? Me as a journalist and you as a senior actor who people look up to. Where do we come in to spread awareness, or help in a way where we can? What can we do?
There are two things. One is awareness and one is hope. If somebody starts giving up hope, then everything is lost. And a second thing is awareness, that people go through a lot, and people should be there to advise, to support. Depression is a big thing. Everybody goes through it. It is sadness that is stretched over a period of time that becomes depression. So my advice to youngsters is that you cannot give up hope. Just these are not good times. They are very. It's terribly sad what happened. It's heartbreakingly sad. I mean, we've been through Rishiji and Irfan and so many other people, but this has, it cuts your heart and you feel terrible. It slices your heart. You feel, why? But my advice to youngsters is that you should stay strong. You should stay strong. If you feel lonesome, pick up the phone. Don't feel bad to pick up a phone. That's all I can say.
That's a good advice, sir. Thank you so much for that. Because I know a lot of people won't want to hear from you. All this was, it might encourage them, or it might give them little consideration that, things are going to get better. So I also have some social media questions. Like there are 3 or 4 questions, some fun related questions, all right, related to quarantine. The first question that I normally get on the social media is like, if you had a choice to get locked down with a celeb, okay, who would you choose as your lockdown partner and why?
I'm going to give you an answer which is unusual, because I'm very happy to be locked down with my family, honestly. But I'll think of, since you've asked me the question, if I'm to be locked down with a celebrity, I don't know. I just don't look at celebrities as celebrities for some reason. They're all colleagues, So they're colleagues. Who do I? Shah Rukh would be great fun to be with.
All right.
Shah Rukh and Abhishek would be great fun to be with. We spend a lot of fun days together. Yeah. And why not Farah Khan also, and why not Sonu Sood also, our good old team, and Deepika, team from Happy New Year. We had the best time, and you got to live on. Memories and nostalgia are a big thing. You can't forget the good times you had. So maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea. We'd be sitting over here playing games and sharing good old stories. I mean, this lot, yeah, they're quite something. Quite something.
Nice answer. Good man. Good answer. Thank you so much for that. Okay. What shows are you currently binge watching, sir? What shows have impressed you, and you recommend your fans to go ahead and check that out on OTT platforms?
I watched Family Man, and I really enjoyed. And I've been watching Arya, which is very good. I thought Sushmita Sen is terrific, unbelievably terrific. It was like it's like a role that she has been waiting for all her life to do, and suddenly she gets this role which actors dream of, and then here she goes there and knocks it out of the ballpark. Right. It's quite amazing what Sushmita has done in it. I mean, I am thoroughly impressed with what she's done in Arya. I think people should be watching that. Mm-hmm. The English ones, I'm not big on web series. I like movies that have a closure. So I'm not big on it, but I'm watching something called The Last Tycoon, which is not bad. But for me, Family Man, I must say, my good friend Manoj Bajpayee has done a great job, and of course Raj and DK, super job on that. And Shush and Ram Madhwani's wonderful crafting of the beautiful performances that have been presented to us. Chandrachud Singh also so good. All of them, the whole cast, it just feels that they are not even acting. They are in a moment, all put together, and they're in a moment feeling the stress of something. Well done, I say. Extremely
correctly
well
said,
done.
Sir. Correctly said, because I spoke with the actors of this of the series, and they said the same thing. They didn't feel like they were acting. It was like it was happening naturally. And Sushmita was like an aura over there. She's not an actress, or she's not someone. She was like an aura on the set. That's what I got from them.
She's awesome, man. She's awesome. She just took I'm saying, she's just making me feel, क्या कर रहे लोग ऐसे कर रहे जैसे काम पे गए हैं या वहीं पे रहते हैं, and they're doing their thing, it's quite amazingly done. And I think that's got a lot to do with Ram Madhwani's world that he has created for the actors. I mean, I'm not taking away from the actors, but I think Ram Madhwani created a wonderful world for them to immerse themselves into.
All right. Okay. So last 2 questions, and then I'll let you go. Okay. So before I start the question, I want to ask you this: do you have house help right now? There's house help for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So the question was.
What about the wife in the house?
No.
Yeah, tell. koi baat nahi. So ask the question anyways. Let's see.
All right. So the question that I normally get, like people are asking what celebs are doing. So do you do your own household work? And if you do, what is the thing that you hate the most and you like doing the most? Jhadu, pocha, bartan included.
Look, I started out doing all this stuff, and then they throw me out, and they say, "Stop pretending. You pretend that you're going to do." So we have this little thing, and I try to clean a little bit, and my son comes and drags everything. Please go from here. Don't do something. Don't do. We have somebody in the house. Yes, we do have, but we don't. It's too much work. Because from our house we've got we about 15 people are being fed from here, including my mother-in-law, father-in-law in the next building, and the watchman and the kids, and so. But having said that, I go to the kitchen thrice of 3 or 4 times a day. I minimize my load of work onto from everyone. My wife has to do a lot of work. My son helps out big time. But they throw me out. Don't know. Go, please. One day I went and burnt my thumb on the hot plate. Big drama happened. They said, "Get out from here. Don't show your face again." All right, but I don't expect to be served. I serve myself. I eat my thing, put my thing, clean it up myself. And I feel nice about it. It's a lot of...
Cool. Thank you so much. I asked that question. Thank you so much.
I don't hate anything. I mean, what's wrong? I've worked as a waiter for 2 years, so I'm very comfortable with carrying multiple plates between my fingers, and also don't worry about me. I'm fine.
Wow, amazing, sir. So the last question that I have, sir, where are we seeing you next? What is in the pipeline, and when is Boman Irani coming on our screen again?
Well, 2 films have been shot. One is 83, where I've got a small part. As a commentator playing Farooq Engineer, India's great wicketkeeper batsman. So I play his role, and then I've got quite a big head-to-head with Ranveer Singh in Jayesh Bhai Jordar, which is also now ready. And then I've been working on my script. The moment we open up, we're going to start working, some kind of pre-production of some sort. And I found so many young writers in Spiralbound that I would love to collaborate with. Right. So plate is full. Plate is full.
It's good to have plate full, Thank you so much, sir. It was amazing chatting with you. It was my pleasure. I got to learn a lot of things from you, and I was looking forward to that. Thank you so much. I hope it was something
for
you as well.
Thank you so much. You take care, buddy.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.